Alrighty, we're back. We're back. All right. So this time we're also streaming on Twitch, and a little bit more preparation this time. All right. So this week, uh,
Yeah, what's up?
okay, yeah. So we're gonna be talking a bit
Jordan.
about anime, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Did Mike?
Thanks for
Nice.
introducing me.
Thank you, Jordan.
No. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Oh my god. Yeah, alright. So pretty much, the one who just introduced us was Jordan. Nice to meet you, Jordan. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Do we gotta like introduce ourselves every time? Is that
Yeah, I reckon.
That's
I mean, the other one was...
first time, right? Yeah.
bruh? Alright.
Jordan's the
Well-
best teacher, I agree.
Jordan is a
Okay.
great teacher. Okay, Jordan loves teaching little kids. Let's keep it. Let's stop there.
Yep.
Teaching or the other T word?
Jordan's
What
not,
the
but Jordan has a lot of really cool students.
What's the other two
Jordan's
words?
students are very supportive people,
Yeah.
and they're all weebs too, which is great. I don't know how he does it, but all of the students seem to really love him.
Jordan plays with kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. I play.
yeah. Jordan, the kind of guy to be a bro to the students. You know what I mean?
Dude, what do you mean? My handwriting
Stream
is
agrees.
kinda-
Stream
agrees
agrees,
as well.
true.
Alright, anyway,
Alright.
let's introduce ourselves. We'll start with Alpha God.
Yo, hello. That's me. My name's David. I am a guy who does stuff. And that's me.
Sick.
That's a lot of personality
He does stuff.
Thanks,
in one
dude.
place.
Yeah, alright. Jordan,
What?
introduce yourself.
Dude, I already introduced
Yeah,
myself.
you're right, alright.
Jordan's already done.
True,
Also,
true.
tell me about yourself.
I'm Oswald. What do? I started full-time work this week. It's busy. That's it. Cool. I love anime.
I think Oswald is our in-house gacha game enthusiast. Spends lots of money on games. Has
True.
more figurines than things in his house. I guess you could say.
Yep.
Oswald, what's your most expensive figurine?
Probably like a $400 Miku figurine. Yeah, that was pretty expensive.
Top that losers.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
And I love Hololive, so yeah, hit me up for VTuber content.
true. So you don't put the word Oswald in a sentence without degenerate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can call me Phipps. I am a gamer. I love games. I do love manga. I think manga is far superior to any anime out there. Down to fight. I am also working full time. So one day, Oswald, we've got to hang out. We've got to meet up in the city and do some corporate coffee. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get lunch in the city.
It's so lit. And did you know that Oswald is also a vegan?
Yep. I hate meat.
Yeah,
I
Mike's
love
going out to
animals.
eat.
Agree to disagree.
Kinda
Anyway,
Anyway.
Sarayne, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Hey, I'm Sarayne, full-time uni student right now. Turns out uni's not that busy, so all I do is watch anime and play games all day right now.
Yeah, so you can see that we're all kind of bonded by a similar theme. We're all weebs, we're all gamers. We all met, I think, through Accelerated Maths 1 lecture, right?
Yeah.
No,
I think
Not
so.
Jordan, not Jordan.
Not Jordan. But I remember the other four of us, right? We sat together, I think, one day in our maths lecture. And I think at some point I was like, some point in the first lecture, I'm pretty sure, I was like, screw this, I'm bored. I'm going to pull out Hearthstone. And so I whipped it out, and the boys just gathered around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I think you guys knew each
At that
other
time,
sort of
back when
previously.
Hearthstone was a
no?
thing.
Well, I think like Oswald and Sarayne knew each other,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Phipps and David sort of met in a tutorial, right?
No, I met Oswald and Phipps through Sarayne. So
Oh yeah.
because we went to the same high school.
Yeah. Interestingly, maybe Sarayne knew everyone first, because I knew Sarayne from high school maths coaching
Same.
from Dr. He.
True.
Dr.
Those are the
He.
days.
I definitely knew Oswald. I played a bunch of games with bunch of leagues back in the day with Oswald.
Yep.
Yeah,
we
that's
definitely
true.
played everything. Played
Yes.
League, played Osu, still do.
One of my passwords is still Oswald is gay on Facebook.
Yep, one of my passwords is still.
Wait, wait.
What?
Fucking trolling.
No, I know the one.
DDoS
Yeah,
King
yeah,
password.
DDoS
Wait,
King.
is that the DDoS King?
Yeah, it is.
DDoS King's Facebook.
Anyway,
Sarayne has a Facebook account called DDoS King.
No. Dude, you guys all met through Sarayne.
yeah, Sarayne's the middle link.
Dude, I was like an Oswald simp at the start. dude.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I met like Jordan and Alice in like first year uni.
Yeah, like I was like simping Oswald so hard. It was actually crazy. I was like, I gotta make
How'd you
smart
meet us,
friends.
Jordan?
Oswald got
Make smart
99.95, so got a simp hard.
Didn't though, but okay.
Oh, not 9.95. You got chances. You got chances. I was like, I gotta make some chance of friends, and then Oswald got chances. And I was like, damn, he's so smart. I need like simp this guy real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like I think I met Sarayne when I was sitting in one of your AM classes for no reason. And he was like trading stonks, right? He was fucking trading stonks. And I was like, damn, dude, I want to trade stonks. And I was like, damn, dude, this guy can help me trade stonks in the future. So I was like, damn, this guy's going to be a good friend as well.
Oh, you didn't want to make friends with me because you wanted to make friends with the chancellors, did you?
Oh, no, but I never wanted to make friends with you because you had stonks, right? That's why. Yeah, for the money. I think, I don't know when Phipps and David came. But like they suddenly just appeared in like Mahjong Club someday, and then we just chilled. I think that was like
Yeah, I think one day I
I
was
think
like, damn,
Mahjong
I'm
Club
lonely,
was also
right?
Sarayne.
Yeah, for sure.
Sarayne
You
was
feel
like-
kinda-
Was it?
Yeah,
It was for
Mahjong
me, it was
Club, 'cause, I'm not sure if you guys were interested in going, but I really wanted to go from watching Akagi for.
Yeah. I just remember Sarayne's like, oh, I want to go to Mahjong Club. I'm going to Mahjong Club. Like, okay, sure.
I just
I'm
want to
gonna-
like go to the Mahjong Club and bet some blood, man, like in Akagi.
Yeah.
Mahjong stream hard with 5 people, guys.
It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Oswald was like, dude, you should come Mahjong Club with us, and I was like, Mahjong, this is kind of cringe, but like, dude, go to Simple Oswald, am I right? So I went to Mahjong Club. Said that I didn't know how to play Mahjong.
And
I remember we like
nowadays-
stayed like pretty late, right? Because we only play like Hong Kong Mahjong at the start.
Yeah.
And then we had to
yeah.
like sit back and learn how to play like Jap Mahjong.
It's true.
We sort of like,
Yeah,
And
I
then we
remember.
went on multiple trips to Japan to play mahjong.
That's true.
yeah, and gamble our money away to his plug.
Bro, we lost so much money in Japan. Oh, I lost so much money in Japan.
I did.
Yeah,
I
speak
actually
for
did.
yourself.
Dude.
Holy shit.
So
I
I
lost
think I broke
less
even
than
plus
$50.
Bro, it's crazy.
750. Wait,
So,
750.
Less than 50.
Oh, less than 50. Okay.
because like we started out right, there was some really nice guys, and they were like pretty much giving us free food the whole time, and we were just like, holy shit, this is so good. And then as we kept going, we started actually gambling money, and that's when they get you.
No. Do you remember the first time we like gambled those guys? Dude, I swear to God, it was like a big ass bait, right?
Yeah.
Like it was with me, Sarayne, and the dude,
Yeah.
right? And I'm pretty sure we cleaned him, right? We cleaned him of like $100-ish.
Yeah, I think I thought we were cheating or something actually, just based on his facial expressions. I
Right?
thought
Because
we were
we
just together and like feeding each other towels and stuff. Because we were playing, we weren't playing properly either.
we just like took all his money and then we just stopped playing. I was up like $100 on the first day and we just stopped playing and the guy was like, do you want to go again? We're like, nah. We just fucking left.
Yeah, but for the record, we do not condone or support any form of gambling. If you are addicted to gambling, please seek help.
Gambling is legal though.
It's
Not in Japan anyway.
we're having fun and we're betting with the
Oh,
bros,
having
right?
fun, that's alright.
Yeah, it's,
So-
it's basically
Yeah,
just
we won't be
entertainment
real money.
value.
It's
right?
all legal.
It's
just having
it's fine.
fun.
We're just having fun.
We should talk about how like they sort of like loophole the system with gambling in Japan. Yeah,
Pachinko.
like with pachinko and also like
with like the
mahjong gambling,
tokens and
right?
the chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Japan, basically, gambling is illegal, right? You're not allowed to bet money at anything. So all the gambling places use this dodgy system where you trade cash for like tokens or like bowls and stuff, and then you gamble those, and then you can trade those back for cash.
But isn't that just normal? Poker, like you trade money for chips and then you use the chips to bet.
I
and
think
then-
with poker, it's a different motive for using chips. I think with chips, you seek or you see less value in the chips than you do the money, and so you're more willing to gamble money. I think it's more of a psychological thing for poker than it is for pachinko, which is also that, but also a way of kind of circumventing the law.
Wait, so poker is technically legal?
Yeah, if you
because no one uses money when you play, actually uses physical money when you bet.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be the case with mahjong, but the balls in pachinko are just part of the game. Like you can't play the game without the balls anyway.
Yeah, so like, do you want to describe like what pachinko is as a game?
Yeah, so pachinko is a bit like pinball, where you're firing off balls into a machine and try to aim the ball so that it goes into a certain hole. But realistically, pachinko is more or less a game of luck, right? You don't have much control over the where the balls fall, so you're basically watching the balls fall, and if it falls into the right place, you win some money. Well,
Yeah, so
game of luck.
yeah, it's like pinball, but like you get a lot of balls, and the aim of the game is not to keep the ball afloat, but to get the balls to fall down like specific holes, right? And I think like when it falls down specific holes, you get like more balls for that one ball that you put in, and that's sort of how you're meant to like make money with pachinko.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like slots, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
pretty
controlled
much, yeah.
slots. You have slightly more
and you-
control in that you can like aim the machine and like shoot
Yeah.
where the ball goes. But yeah, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's all luck.
Yeah,
mean,
I
you'll be
would say.
surprised. Like you guys remember like walking into like the pachinko places, right? Like other than the fact that it's like blasts your ears until you go
We're
deaf,
all deaf already.
yeah, like before you
been there yet. We gotta go in the pachinko parlor this first thing.
dude, like the doors open and your eardrums are just burst, right? And then like I mean there's actually a lot of variety of like different pachinko machines because yeah, it's pretty much like slots.
You go in there, you're drowned by the noise, and you're fucking choked by cigarette smoke. That's the environment of
classic
pachinko parlors.
Experience, yeah.
You know, these are all great, but you know what else is great? Anime,
True.
which segues us into our next conversation point. Jordan, what is your favorite anime?
Bro, why you gotta do this?
That's
dude?
kinda
I'm
cringe,
getting
man.
hyped up about talking about gambling, and then you want me to talk about my favorite anime?
That was kind
Yeah,
of
that's
cringe.
kinda
Akagi, man.
Can we
of
kick
course,
Fips?
Akagi. Straight into
I mean,
gambling.
like, I can lead it into something, right? Because, like, when we're talking about pachinko machines, we can't not talk about Kaiji, right? Like, the pachinko arc in Kaiji, right? Like, how do you make, 13 episodes based around beating a pachinko machine?
Yeah, it's a single pachinko machine as well.
Yeah. Like, the fight against the pachinko machine almost extends beyond what the pachinko machine is. It's like, it's like, I don't know. I don't really want to spoil too much, right? But it gets into like. How
Is
should I
the
put it?
pachinko machine sentient? Like, does it have thought?
No, all right.
It's
So
a
let me
normal
get the
pachinko machine, more or less. Yeah, but I think that arc of Kaiji really just shows how you can make a game of luck, just a game that seems completely based on luck, into something that can be a competition between different people using skill and strategy.
Don't you think
That's
every
terrible.
like a lot of animes uses this like archetype where they try to overanalyze something so that it looks a lot more interesting than in real life, right? Like,
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, that's like the sort of appeal of anime, isn't it?
yeah.
that's like the shonen trope. It's like you gotta have that side character explaining like what just happened. Like he twisted the stick slightly to the left.
Yeah. And it was all
Just like
skill,
a-
guys, with the
Like
power of
sports
friendship.
anime, right?
Yeah. Sports
So
anime.
like you think Kuroko no Basuke for basketball, you think Dio no A for baseball, and they all go like super in depth with all the kind of strategy, all the techniques, anything in depth pretty much.
And speaking of like sports anime, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I learned a lot about the actual sport when watching or like reading like sports related anime. Like, I think a good example of that is like so one of my first mangas that I read, and I really like it. It's called iShield
I Shall
21.
21 knew it.
Yeah. It's about American football, which is like a sport, you know, like unless you're in America, you probably wouldn't know much about. And certainly, like, you know, if you're reading this manga as a Japanese person, like you definitely wouldn't know much about. But you can really tell that, first of all, like the author had a lot of passion for American football and included a lot of like strategies and like game techniques and actual game terminology into the actual into the story, where I don't know, like for a period after reading iShield 21, I could watch the American NFL and understand what's going on, right? I thought that was like really interesting. Just like the amount of effort they put into like the detail of writing sports animes like that.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not just the detail, right? I think what makes those kind of anime, like you think any sports anime, like I think iShield 21, in addition to obviously you can't not mention Haikyuu, right? The highlight of all of these is not just the kind of in-depth techniques and detail they go into, it's also just like the characters.
Oh yeah.
I think in iShield 21, you see the main character kind of develop because he goes from someone who's kind of never played anything of such, right?
Yep.
Into becoming someone who's really good at his sport.
It's like an iconic figure at the end almost.
Yeah, exactly. And I think similarly for Haikyuu, right? You see the character development, you see the kind of bonds that are created within the team, and it makes you feel something. You know what I'm saying?
Makes you feel something. Like yeah, I think that is like one similar quality for good anime is I don't know, like personally I think what makes something good is that it has to be believable. Do you guys agree with that? Like
I
an
don't
extent.
agree.
Depends on the genre. Depends on the genre.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be believable, like simulating real life, then definitely you want the characters to be believable.
Because a lot
yeah,
of
but-
like fantasy shit just becomes really overpowered.
yeah, so let me give you guys an example, right? Like so even in the fantasy genre, there's like rules and sort of I get like rules that are followed by the characters, whether it be like physical rules or like I don't know, technological rules or I don't know, certain like political
you mean
rules.
like things that can kind of ground what the character is able to do? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the reality that they're set in, and like the consistency of that reality is really what makes a good show often.
For
So
me
you're saying once the rules have been
personally-
established, they shouldn't really be violated. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not unless there's like a massive plot point turn. But they
Yeah.
all should like fit within the universe, yeah.
I actually disagree with that. It's because what I feel like anime does is it gives a world that is clearly not real. Like if and that's why animes can't like when you turn them into live adaptations, they sort of sometimes feel very weird and very out of place because a lot of characters' emotions and characters' tropes don't really feel don't really feel right in live adaptations. So what anime allows like the creators to do is exaggerate people's emotions or certain characteristics of people, which might feel really weird when it's when it's actually actors acting it out. But if you're just drawing it out in like a I don't like to say the word cartoon, but it is literally just a cartoon
like
way.
You
animation,
did
yeah.
it. No, but you kind of mean like the caricature effect, right? It's like
Yeah,
their prominent
yeah.
features are exaggerated to make things more interesting.
And it's okay not to like it's not okay for stuff not to be believable or not to be like realistic at all. It's more that what draws us to watch these types of things is the emotions we feel from watching them. And a lot of those emotions come from the interactions we see between the characters while they are in very weird and very different environments. The emotions they feel and the questions they face are often stuff that we also face and we also deal with them. And the bonds that we form with people, we can very much relate to them, even though it's completely different. And I think that's what creates this emotional attachment from anime to us because we're like, this is something that isn't very realistic or is something that's very easy to watch, but it also creates those questions in our head and makes us think. And I think that's the power that anime has over a lot of other media. For me personally, what do you guys think?
Yes.
Definitely
I think-
see what you're saying there, but yeah, I think what you're saying really depends on the genre and the intended effect that the anime is trying to reach, right? So, for example, like isekai anime, some of the isekai ones where each character is supposed to be the situation is supposed to be like characters are ridiculously overpowered, like I don't know, like Overlord or Konosuba. Those anime, like you can have ridiculous settings, and that really helps you to sympathize with the characters. Whereas if you think about a more realistic setting of anime, such as Monster, then you know you wouldn't want too many things like out of place from the real world, because that's what the author is trying to achieve, right? A really like realistic setting. So yeah, I agree with what David's saying in general. But it would depend on the anime as well.
Yeah, I'll give you guys one more example, right? Of especially of the isekai genre. Recently, like it's been very tropey. So a lot of the newly released isekai have been quite similar in style, right? You have like an overpowered protagonist that was kind of like lonely, and then they get transported to a different world, and not only do they have superpowers, they also have like the harem of like all these different cat girls, you know, who it's like the following the same trope, right? You got the same styles of characters. You got like the cute character, you got the tsundere character, you got the king that needs his kingdom saved. It feels a lot very tropey, and one of the recent isekais that actually diverted my expectations of what isekai was one called Mushoku Tensei, and I'm sure, like, you know, if you guys have been following anime, you've probably heard of this title. Initially, after seeing that it was an isekai anime, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like the same as everything else, right? But when you actually try it, I think the point I was trying to make is that what made Mushoku Tensei so much better than all the other isekai anime was because it incorporated a lot of elements of realism, despite it being a fantasy universe, right? The main character didn't just join the universe, this fantasy universe, and become super overpowered, right? In fact, he was born as a baby, right? And he had to actually train and learn everything about the universe to actually get stronger. And it wasn't like one of those corny training arc montage and suddenly he's just like super strong. It was like, oh my god, I developed a power, so on and so forth. It felt very logical, right? You know, he started off reading books, and then he was just like, oh my god, I can do this to, I don't know, like project my water balls instead of just creating the water balls and dropping them on the ground. And then later on, you know, he got teachers, and the teachers actually physically taught him different, you know, methods to become stronger. And I think that sort of grounds a reality within the universe of Mushoku Tensei, and nothing about it really, I guess, diverted from that, which created a much more unique experience compared to the tropey, trashy isekai that have come before that.
Do you really think that it diverts much? Because from what I've actually seen, Mushoku Tensei, yeah, the main character starts as a baby, but I feel like there are actually quite a few isekais where they start as a baby with consciousness, which means that they can do early magic training, do things like that, learn more at an early age. If anything, I think to me, Slime Data Ken was a much more unique isekai, I'd say, because the main character spawns in another world as a slime. And he goes through his journey as a slime, starting with pretty much no senses, into becoming this overpowered demon.
Yeah.
When you say ReZero is also a good example of an isekai that's done completely different.
Oh, true. ReZero is good.
Because it's about someone who literally has no power except for that he can't die, right?
Yeah,
well, he kind of gets reborn.
It kind of like subverts the whole genre in that instead of being super overpowered, you're just permanently suffering.
Yeah.
Again, like the point I'm trying to make is that I think what makes them good is that they set sort of like, I don't know, like reasons for why these characters do things, and that reason doesn't change, right? It doesn't suddenly like change because I don't know an event happened or someone showed up, and then suddenly like this guy can do this now.
So
or
you
this guy can
don't,
do that.
in your opinion, you don't like Deus Ex Machina stuff, like God.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
exactly the word I'm looking for. Deus Ex Machina. Yeah.
That's a
But,
good
like,
word.
Like, yeah, I also don't like it, but like, it also is a thing that just exists because
Yeah.
sometimes luck does play a part in.
In like short, like small, unpredicted like circumstances, like, I think it's good, right? You don't want like completely sure, just like you want a little bit of unpredictability,
Yeah.
But when they sort of like, you know, push it out of the
Drop
ass,
things.
as you said,
Yeah.
just to like make the story progress, I think that's when it sort of kills it.
Mm. It's that kind of tried and tested method of here's an obstacle, then you like power up, and then you overcome the obstacle.
Just
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, right? Until the obstacle becomes too powerful.
One of many
Yeah,
And then you
examples.
become too powerful.
Dragon Ball's fine. It's one of the older ones, like so it's still original in its concept, more or less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
I
So
think-
to give it, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Sorry,
gonna
you
say,
go.
I think that's the thing about Mushoku Tensei is that it was like it kind of preceded the whole Isekai era, in that I think the original story for it came out before, like any of the big modern Isekais came out. So like there was nothing to like base it off. It was just like writing its own story, kind of.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you guys' favorite isekai animes there? Would you say, since there's so many?
I do like ReZero. ReZero
Like,
Master
what,
Race.
if we had to create a list of the top 3 isekais
Top
in this
3
generation,
isekais.
what would you rate?
So
I think this is a great moment to ask for some chat input.
Yeah. Any ideas in chat? Any ReZero
The question
fans?
was, what is your favorite isekai?
It's an interesting question, right? I think I'm more intrigued by the fact that isekai is even like a completely new genre now.
Sound much.
It really shouldn't be different from the fantasy genre, right?
It really shouldn't, right? But there's so much like isekai that we can just categorize this whole.
Isekai quartet.
Oh, true. Bro, you don't have to have a single favorite isekai if you say isekai quartet.
Yeah, man.
It's like 5 different isekais.
Oh, is that the chibi one?
Yeah, it's like Overlord, ReZero, the Tanya one, Lolly Hitler.
Oh, I was just watching that one, Jojo Senki.
Jojo
I actually
Senki,
really
that's
like it. In fact,
That's a good show.
it's surprisingly good. I didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah. Konosuba is
Yeah,
good.
Konosuba-
Expectations
is
were pretty
bad.
low going into it.
Konosuba should be up there, right?
Yeah, I think Konosuba is like, what do they call that sort of like narrative where it's like they're sort of mocking the
Breaking
original.
sort of-
Satire, parody.
Yeah. Like they're sort of taking like the isekai genre and like sort of like making fun of it in a way, right?
Completely over exaggerated.
And it was really funny. Yeah. Konosuba was a good watch.
How to Not Summon
What
a Demon Lord?
about-
That's good.
No Game, No Life.
Yeah.
What about
We can go.
Spirited Away?
Isekai.
Fantasy, guys, fantasy. It's
Yeah.
a fantasy anime.
I mean, the only
good
difference
fantasy.
between fantasy and isekai is that with isekai, someone dies. Someone like
That's
dies
what
at the start of the
I'm
show,
saying,
right?
Yeah, and it gets
Do they
rebirthed
have
in a
to
new
die?
world.
And that's basically fantasy.
I don't think they have to, right?
Or it's just transported into a new world, right?
When you say
Yeah.
No Game, No Life,
Species
is an
reviewer
isekai.
says no visa.
Thank you, Visa.
Was it
Thank you, Visa.
Isekai? Do you guys remember?
It's not an
It's not,
isekai,
that's
it's a
fantasy.
Yeah, it's not right. Like, but it could well have been. It could have been like one person was just reborn into that world. Who was the protagonist? Oh no! It was.
It's like the
this,
3 guild members.
Yeah.
Yeah, the adventurer dude in the fucking.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should make a fucking
Elf.
tier list. We should make a tier list.
Isekai guild.
Isekai tier list.
Have you guys
Isekai
seen
too.
the wrong way to use healing magic?
The wrong way.
Not redo of healer.
Is that- yeah.
Redo of Healer, yeah, Redo of Healer. Wrong way to
Redo of healer is isekai, right? Is it
Right?
not?
Is it? It's not. It's not. It's not Isekai.
Is it not?
No,
Oh, okay. I thought it was isekai.
Nah, the guy's born into that world.
Who said redo of healer is pretty good?
It's pretty
Huh?
good. I'm just
That's
kidding.
kinda-
I'm
that's
just
kinda
kidding,
sus,
guys.
guys.
Radio Healer is sauce.
That's kind of sus.
Who's this guy
Oh
in
shit!
chat?
I gotta break that shit on
That's
MAL.
Saber
Give me a
Strike,
second.
bro. Saber Strike sauce.
Redo
I watched
shit.
it from my mom, bro. This guy sauce. Get out of here.
How did my recommendation of the wrong way to use healing magic become redo of healer?
Because it says
Well, wrong way of using healing magic. Maybe not, man. The guy can use healing magic for everything.
Healing magic for damage.
what's this?
Healing
About?
magic for everything. I just gotta say heal.
What
Heal.
about the what's that one? The black healer, the one with the jerk. That's good actually.
I forgot what it's called.
Kuro no Yashite. Probably just the black healer. Oh, in another world, I'm called the black healer.
Yeah, that's
yep.
the one. The one with the chick, right?
Yeah, the chick healer. That one's good.
Yeah.
Is that an anime or
Manga,
Manga?
for sure.
manga?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of that title.
Yeah, I really like the wrong way to use healing magic because it's literally a dude who gets spawned into a world. He's one of the more rarer people who have healing magic, but he gets essentially put into a healing squad. But the theme of the healing squad is that they're all like running healing tanks. So like the leader of the squad is this like macho chick who literally like beats people up, running around, becoming invincible and saving people. It's pretty nuts.
It sounds
So
like
instead of like focusing on healing magic, it's like his fitness. Like it's literally just his fitness.
it's like running 5 supports with Moonstone on League.
Pretty much. Except they've also got like 5 warmogs.
Right. It's tank supports.
We should try that.
The anime shit poster says Nagatoro this season.
That's not
She talked a
Isekai.
little bit about
That's
our
not
seasonal
Isekai.
anime.
But yeah, what are you guys watching this season?
What is it out this season? Wait, let me.
There's
I'm actually watching it.
Is there another SAO this season?
I don't
I won't
know.
be
Is there
Is
another
there
episode?
I won't be.
There's,
There's
Hige
100%
Sword
season
Art.
one
My
this
Hero Academia.
season.
Another Hero.
Hirako, yeah. There's the I
Season
shaved and
5.
then brought a girl home.
Ah, that one's good.
That one's really good.
Which one?
Surprisingly wholesome. I shaved and then brought a high school girl home.
Yeah.
Hige Hiro.
I watched that one.
Surprisingly wholesome.
Surprisingly
That is
wholesome,
very
right? Because like
It is
to give like a synopsis, the chick has had like a hard life, right? She's been like selling her body for accommodation basically after running away
Yeah.
from home. But then like she tries it with this guy who's like the main character, and he's beta as fuck, right? So he's just like, nah, I don't want your body, but you can stay at my house anyway. Yeah, it's awesome.
And he paid for that?
No, he doesn't pay for anything. I mean, he pays for
okay.
like food, I guess, but
Well, he pays for her accommodation.
yeah,
right?
yeah. He's Chad, bro. Thank you.
A
Hannah
beta
Miller.
Chad.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
beta
you
Chad.
just call this guy Beta and Chad.
Beta Chad.
Bro, because like
Beta
he's
Chad,
beta
beta
because he
Chad,
doesn't
bro.
make a move on her, but he's Chad because he's a good guy, you know.
No. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
thing.
Beta Chad is like optimal, I reckon.
Yeah, I would say if he made a move, that would be characterized as sexual assault, probably.
That's true.
And sexual assault is definitely
Not condoned here.
not condoned, definitely.
Yes.
The heroic villain, guys.
Assault
No
is not
redo of Hero
condoned.
here.
Exactly.
What about Shaman King getting a remake? Guys?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Shaman King getting a remake. It's kind of hype, guys. I haven't watched it yet, but
Oh my god.
Shaman King's
Have any of you
bang.
guys read Shaman King / seen it?
Nope.
It's one
What
of
is
the
it
older
about?
ones. It like even precedes like it's like there with Bleach's era.
What?
It's about a main
So-
character who's part of a shaman family.
Mhm.
And they essentially have to exorcise ghosts, I think, or shinigami. I can't remember which one.
Exercise ghosts?
Exorcise.
Exorcise.
Oh,
Yeah.
exercise. I was like, exercise ghosts.
Yeah, but it's one of those like really classic shonen genres. Well, like shonen anime because you know the character goes through a training arc and manifests his powers in like a pretty epic way and goes through training arcs even more, becomes stronger and stronger, and it's really cool to watch.
Nice. There's another show this season that's pretty good, isekai wise. It's I fought slimes. I defeated slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
Oh,
That sounds like a YouTube.
There's a manga for that. It's really good. So there's like this
suddenly
girl who,
dying from overworked
yeah,
salary.
she
woman.
dies and then like she's reborn and she's immortal, but she doesn't want to be like famous, so she just like kills slimes in her backyard. and then like over 300 years, she becomes max level and is like super overpowered.
Oh.
Good manga. I
As
missed
you
it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those ones are great and always like really light-hearted. I think that's what makes them really nice as well. Really easily digestible.
Cute, wholesome.
I think isekais now can't be serious because unless they're like really, really different, because the trope is so overused. The only way you can really make a show is if you just make fun of it now.
Watch Mushoku Sensei. I think that one takes isekai seriously, and it executes it really well.
Yep.
Like, I think the studio that created it is literally like a studio of Mushoku Tensei enthusiasts that work in like the animation industry coming together just to make this show. Like, yeah, like they haven't made anything else because that's the only show they're planning to make. It's really interesting.
That's nuts.
Yeah, as I said earlier, like the isekai genre isn't even different from the fantasy genre. So, like, you don't have to make an isekai that makes fun of the genre, right? Like, you can basically have any other fantasy setting with just with the isekai component.
That's
it
true.
really wouldn't make
That's
too much of a
true.
difference.
It really
Like,
does.
you still have ongoing series that are pretty serious, like ReZero, I guess.
I feel like isekai isn't just like getting born in a new world. It's everything else that comes with it, right? It's you being overpowered, you getting a lot of girls, you getting like a lot of free stuff,
Yeah.
you saving the world, right? It's that whole entire thing that comes with it, rather than just getting born.
You can think of it that way, yeah.
Yeah. It's
That
like,
tends to be how isekai tends to be, but you know they don't have to make it that way.
That's true. That's true.
I think a lot of it is because like people enjoy overpowered self-inserts and having the ability to just like be the best at everything, and then like the authors who are writing these light novels can only think of that.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of these light novel writers are actually like unemployed, staying at home, right? A lot of the hikikomoris as well, writing these light novels.
I think because at the end of the day, isekai, I reckon, is spawned because, well, here's the thing, right? There exists a thing as an American dream, right? Everyone knows what that is. But for weebs, there's the weeaboo dream. And I feel like an isekai really embodies that. In a sense that any kind of weeaboo has probably at some point in their lives wanted to teleport to another world with magic powers. And I think that's like almost like undeniably true and can be generalized.
I second that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, we've got some mentions. The anime shit poster has mentioned the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. I think that's the one with the lady who's really good at making potions, right? Is that the one? And really good at healing. So she's like kind of a nerdy type. Gets summoned accidentally or per se accidentally into a world with another chick who they think is the real saint, but the main character is obviously the real saint. And so she just like low-key does stuff on the side and makes potions. And Ascendance of the Bookworm's the one that I recommended to Oswald. I really liked that one.
That was good. I didn't like it that
Yeah,
much,
I
but
think,
it wasn't bad.
It's this basically girl who has a really weak body, and it's not like all the other isekais in a sense that she's a very normal human being, but what she wants to do is her end goal is basically to create a book, because she gets spawned into a world with no books, no reading, no writing, pretty much. So as a kid, she tries to develop paper and tries to make that into a book.
Yep.
I mean, when we talk about like isekai, right? Like, we want to talk a little bit about fantasy as well, yeah. Because like, I remember when ReZero came out. I think that's like sort of the start of when isekai really started popping off. Would you guys agree?
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember when like
Yeah.
ReZero came out, right? Like every single fantasy show had to be an isekai, right? And it was just all isekais for like I don't know, a long time. And I remember like the first show that wasn't an isekai fantasy was Made in Abyss.
Oh.
Do you guys remember that show?
Yeah, that was good.
Dropping name.
Made in Abyss is bloody good, right? And like it's come after like a huge pure fantasy drought, right? It's been isekai for like long ass time. It was like a year and a bit, and then suddenly they dropped like an actual fantasy show that was pretty good quality. Like, I think Made in Abyss is really I want to say like underappreciated. Maybe it's a little bit underappreciated. But it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I binged it in one night. Is how good it was.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
The manga is quite a bit longer than the anime, and I just remember the manga getting really, really dark. Was that the case with the anime?
Yes.
It got real dark.
It's not wholesome.
it gets pretty dark pretty quickly actually. Like
Yeah.
you start to realize a lot of like issues because the main character is like all bubbly and happy, right? But then she's like living in an orphanage and like they drop down like this hole which is like surrounded by like the place that they dropped down in the hole was like the slums, right? And like people getting treated really badly and like there's all these like issues with like politics and stuff, and it's really interesting. Like you can definitely sense that it wasn't going to be like the lighthearted style anime, but then it really hits you, right? It really hits
Yeah. One thing I watched recently that had a similar feeling to it was Journey of Elena, Wandering Witch.
you. Yeah,
It's like it's kind of cute, and like the art is like, damn, everyone's so cute. But then like deep down, all the characters are kind of messed up. There's like this unease that you kind of feel as you watch it.
it was like basically like this. You can unease, right? Like you can just tell that something's not right, right? Like, but the main character Elaine just treated everything as if it was like normal. But so like living in a world where I guess things are not like naturally, like things are just a little bit uneasy. It's kind of weird. It was an interesting experience. I think that was a really controversial episode. Do you remember?
In Elena or
Yeah, in Elaine.
this Journey of Elena, yeah. The one where she goes back in the past.
Yeah, that was really weird.
That was a dark episode. Good episode.
What made it controversial?
She doesn't save someone. Is all I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you have like protagonists that are like expected to do the right thing and like save people and like, you know, do good, you know. But I think Elena is more realistic and just like works for herself and like doesn't meddle in things that she doesn't need to. So she does ignore problems and lets people die.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because it sort of portrays itself as like the general sort of fantasy, adventure style, like episodic anime. But the twist is that the universe that they live in is like pretty dark, right? And yeah, I don't remember which episode, but I remember like the start of the episode there was like a disclaimer. It was just like this episode contains like traumatic scenes or whatever the heck, and I was just like, what's the worst that could happen?
Is this an anime where it's more heavy than it is lighthearted?
It's lighthearted, but it's just uneasy, right? Like everything that happens just doesn't seem right, you know? Like the way characters react, certain like I'll give you an example. Right? One of the episodes was about this city that's been so it's been like cast under a spell where you cannot lie. So like on paper it sounds pretty good. You're not allowed to lie, right? But when you enter the city, like the obvious problem is that if you can't lie, then you're just gonna say whatever like comes to mind. So no one actually says anything. So, and whenever someone says something, it just ends up with like people fighting because everyone's just like so pent up, right? And it's like that sort of like uneasy, right? Like things are happening for a good cause, but with a bad result, sort of.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Good.
That actually sounds amazing. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense that not a lot of people would be talking because, you wouldn't want to say a lot of the intrusive thoughts that you have most of the time. I think it's really hard to.
I mean, in terms of like actually how good the anime is debatable. It's like average, but I think that like the concept is pretty interesting.
It's okay because she was cute.
Fair enough. I think wasn't there like this near the end there was like she was like making a joke about like how she was like cute and stuff, and I was like sort of like, oh yeah, like it was in the lying like the city that you can't say a lie, and then she was just like testing if it's true or not, and she was just like, I'm so damn cute. Okay, I guess it does work. I was like, what the? She was like, fair enough.
She was like, I'm really pretty.
Yeah,
and she was able
but
to
even
say
that is like kind of weird, right? Because you wouldn't say that just to test whether or not you're lying. So like, Shows how the characters are a bit
She's
sus.
very selfish, narcissistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in general though, I think we shouldn't actually discuss plot points in different shows, especially the ones that are, that can be thought of as spoilers. I think.
These
Yeah,
aren't spoilers,
These
man.
aren't
Let's
spoilers.
discuss
We
the
can
general
just- we
ideas
can-
and concepts around
You
shows.
can also just put a spoiler alert before we say anything that could possibly spoil
Yeah.
stuff.
Sure.
Well, spoilers alert, but you can't really do that for a stream, can you?
I mean, like, personally, I don't like. It's really hard to spoil something. Like, I feel like even if someone tells me what's going to happen, I'm still going to be like, oh my god, that happens. Like when I actually watch it.
Yeah, but not everyone thinks like that.
That's true. And
True.
those people,
Just knowing
So
different
bad.
events that happen. That's yeah. We can talk about like just overall, the sort of how do you say it? The overall progression of a show or something. But specific plot points, we'll not discuss that in our stream.
I mean,
Try not
personally,
to.
I don't think I spoiled anything
Same.
about any show.
Yeah, just be careful in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with spoilers, though.
Yeah, I'll
personally.
be careful. Sorry.
If the show's already aired, it's free to be
The show's
spoiled.
already aired. Some people haven't seen the shows.
Spoiler alert. True.
Spoiler alert.
I mean, we did avoid like the biggest spoiler, which is
Which is
Which is,
which is the episode that was very controversial, right? We didn't really talk about
Yep.
what actually happened in that one.
Right. Okay.
You just know there's a really good episode. So look forward to
I don't know
that.
if it was really good. It was just very like shocking.
Yeah.
That's how I could describe it. It was very
Yeah,
shocking.
Definitely.
When I watched it, I was like, they really went there. What the?
What other anime do you think when you think controversial?
Redo of Healer.
I'm surprised that's not as controversial as it should be. I think that should be like crazy controversial.
And also
Why
in the
would it
chat,
be that
Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, like Goblin Slayer felt more controversial than Redo of Healer, but
That's because more people watch Goblin Slayer, right?
yeah.
Radio of Healer, you only watch that shit. Like everyone knows what it's about, right? You only watch it if you want to.
I
That's
guess
true.
so.
wasn't there
Like
like
if you don't
an
want to
F-
watch that shit, just like, well, don't watch it, basically.
Wasn't there like an FBI, like there's this FBI meme about an anime? I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Um,
You mean like
the little girls, right? No,
There's a lot of little girl shows.
and
You'll have to
the
be
little
more
girls,
specific.
specifically want to talk
That
about
was like a
Frieren. Go for it.
I've watched them all.
like surely are those controversial? I guess not.
They're not
anymore.
in that.
They're
They're
not that
so
controversial.
prevalent that it's kind of like everyone's desensitized to it. Like every season, you'll have a few cute girl shows, and people will watch them and be like, "Yeah, that's kind of weird," but yeah, like if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Like what Sarayne said.
True.
I think
This is-
more and more though, people are getting more sensitive about shows, which I kind of hate it, honestly.
Mm.
Same with real life, right? I mean, people are just getting more sensitive about things in general, which makes sense because as the overall kind of well-being of people go up, we have more space and resources to care about menial things.
Yeah, that's actually right.
I still think in
Because-
Australia it's pretty nice. We still get to like
Have
joke around
opinions?
about stuff, yeah, and have opinion. But like,
That's until
other-
like go on Twitter, but we don't really use Twitter here.
I love Twitter.
It's like when you go online and then you like chat, then this is where stuff hits the wall.
Yeah,
Stuff
it's
hits
true.
the wall.
Have you guys read Berserk?
No,
Actually,
I've read it,
heard
but
of
I
it.
haven't read all of it.
No one here has read Berserk. Interesting. Berserk is one of the most highly rated manga, I think, on my anime list, and it's really, really heavy. I think kind of that I don't. There's this like kind of like poorly animated anime, but I think they don't really want to make it into a proper anime because further down the line, some really like messed up things happen. Even much more messed up than anything of Goblin Slayer, I think.
I mean, I wouldn't really say Goblin Slayer was messed up at all.
Yeah. Goblin Slayer was only one episode that was controversial. Yeah, it just becomes a like pretty lighthearted show afterwards, to be honest.
It's
How's
true.
this for a controversial opinion, right? Like Uchiage Hanabi is one of the best anime movies I've ever watched.
Now that is
that was
controversial.
fireworks. I thought that was fireworks.
That is fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks. If you guys haven't seen it, dude, it's so good. It's so bad.
What's the full title? Is like, should we view it from the side or the bottom?
Yakara Mirika, Yokokara Mirika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good movie.
Are fireworks round or flat if you view them from the side?
According to IMDb, it is a 5.6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 from me.
What is it on MAL?
But in my heart, it's a 10 out of 10.
6.1 on MAL.
Which is pretty
I
terrible.
think the people
That's
that
pretty
watch the show just doesn't appreciate how bad it is.
Yeah, so tell us why you enjoyed it, Jordan.
All I can say is that I have a deep appreciation for things that are intentionally terrible.
Think?
I think it was intentionally terrible.
High effort, terrible. They
Right,
put a lot of effort into it, and then
Yeah.
it just sucks.
I actually think that was the first anime I've ever watched.
Yeah, dude, we watched it in the cinema with David. Oh my
That
god.
was the
It's
first
good after
anime
that,
I
then.
ever watched. And I was like, why am I watching this? How is this good? How does this genre even exist?
Oh my god.
Sorry
Dude,
for your loss.
that was so funny.
I was so confused.
Actually,
Yeah.
true. So, pretty much the movie is like animation is like a solid 10 out of 10, right?
Yep.
It's done by Shaft. It's beautiful. It's got the head tilts. Music 10 out of 10, right? It's got the famous Uchiage Hanabi, Kenshi Yonezu, and Daoko, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the plot is inconsistent. The characters are unlikable.
They're like piece of paper.
It's
Blank
like
paper, man.
yeah, it's like exactly what we were talking about earlier. That everything that made a show good, it had like none of that. I think pretty much
Other than like the quality production. Pretty much.
other than the quality, right? Overall quality good, but just like the plotline. Let's talk about the plot, right? Because pretty much what happens is the main character sees situations and problems and kind of runs away from them, but out of nowhere he has this magic power to basically turn back time. So it's like, you know how earlier we were talking about, you know, it's controversial for main characters not to like fix problems or like do socially acceptable things. He sees his crush basically get pulled away by seemingly an abusive family and things like that. And then how does he deal with this problem? He lets it happen. And then he throws this ball, which is essentially a time ball, and says, Moshimo, you know, if only I could go back in time. And then he goes back in time. And he does that like 3 or 4 times and just basically solves his problems that way. And then when you think, you know, it's opened up so many plot points, opened so many things, and then it just kind of like stops, right? Like after 2 hours, the movie just ends. And I remember sitting in the cinema being so confused because we were just like, wait, that's it? Like, I didn't understand any of that.
The credits started playing and Uchiage Hanabi came on and we just started laughing.
The weirdest one was when they like went into that like song in the middle of the train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then she was like, I want to be an idol, and then she starts
Yeah.
singing.
And I'm like, what?
She's just tripping on LSD, bro. Like,
It makes no sense. It's like, oh, we have to put
haven't
this
watched
on.
Uchiage Hanabi, but your descriptions like make me want to watch it. I just want to watch it for the production quality, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine, man. Like if you have a high production quality anime, it's probably worth watching. And that's why I rate Violet Evergarden so highly as well. It's just, the production quality is a major part of anime as well.
I think that's what
I
makes
think
anime better
what
than
I'm
manga.
most I think what I'm most impressed about is the amount of detail Phipps can actually remember the plot. Because I'm gonna be honest, right?
Yeah,
I actually don't remember what the fuck happened. Right, the whole thing was just a mess. All I remember was that after I watched the movie, I had a good time, and that's all I remember.
And that's why it's a 10 out of 10 for Jordan.
That's why it's a 10 out of 10 from me. Right? Like, Phipps telling me about like the plot, I'm like, that's right, dude. He does go like Moshimo and then like throws the ball. I completely forgot that. I'll be honest. Right? I completely forgot that.
Yeah, none of the plot actually
It's always
contributed to
really
Jordan's opinion on the show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, pretty much.
so forgettable, so unmemorable. You know what I mean?
Like
I don't know,
you
does that
you
really
remember
make it
like
that good?
the bits
A 10 out of
don't
10
make
for that,
sense.
for no plot.
Yep, it's that good. Just like Demon Slayer, you know, that's a 10 out of 10 with not that much
It's
plot.
not even no plot. They're like desperately trying to make a plot, but it just
Yes,
doesn't
yes,
make any
yes.
sense.
I don't even think it's that. It's that there's so much plot, but the plot doesn't end. The movie ends before the plot does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's unresolved.
Ran out of
And
budget.
production quality was too good, man. They ran out of budget. For the
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
It's a two-head move.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
company
that's
that never
good
runs
after
out
the-
budget
The production on the music.
is UFO Table. They never run out of budget.
Wouldn't they have made more profit from YouTube views on Uchiage Hanabi than the actual movie?
For fireworks, yeah, definitely. That thing has like 200 million views.
Wait, Fireworks is 200 million views?
The,
What?
the music video, yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's why they put it in. I see. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
how we-
I mean, the song
quick
is,
YouTube.
is
It's
good.
got
Everyone's
400
making
mil.
like covers of that. Yeah,
400
like,
million views, man. The ad revenue must be more than the movie revenue.
I believe it.
It must be.
That movie was terrible.
There's no cap.
I got a request to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah.
I enjoy those.
Rate it.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen is like sort of, it's one of those shows that sort of really sparks like your urge to watch anime, right? Because it's like such an easy to consume anime that it just makes you feel good, right? It's and it reminds me a lot about like I guess like when I first started watching anime with like Naruto and like One Piece and all of that sort of shows, right? And
It's just like super like digestible shonen, right? Pretty much.
yeah, it's just super digestible shonen with like very good high quality production, pretty much. Yeah. Like the whole narrative of like the sensei taking like the three like new students and learning about the universe of Jujutsu Kaisen is very similar to Naruto, with like Kakashi taking like
Oh my
the three
god, you
students.
so get it, dude. When
Right?
I've only seen the first episode, right? I saw it with Cindy, and the immediate thing that I recognized was it's like kind of parallels that it draws to Naruto, because it's pretty much the same thing as Naruto, right?
Yeah, it's just like Naruto with like, it's like modern day Naruto with like high production value, and it's really good. It's like done really well, and it's fucking good. I love it.
So just a bit of background. In Jujutsu Kaisen, similar to Naruto, the main character basically ends up with this like powerful being within him, like just in a way that Naruto is, right? And they essentially meet a teacher who trains three of them, and that teacher covers his eyes, and that's the case for both Kakashi Sensei and the teacher dude in Jujutsu Kaisen. The main character is quite likable. You know, he's a playful kind of guy. There's a cool guy in their group, and there's also a girl in their group. And just in general, they're just so similar.
Yeah,
in
you can draw
terms
a
of
lot
the
of
premise.
similarities between the two shows, and they're similar, but like it doesn't feel like the same show. You know, like I think that's what's good about it. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm watching Naruto again, but I think it's taking the elements of Naruto that are good and just making a whole new show out of it.
Definitely agree. I think it'll be one of the ones that I'd be kind of keen to watch. Mainly because I've seen like some of the fight scenes. It always seemed like a combination of like Naruto and Fate, from what I know from Fate, the Fate series.
Like the quality animation and stuff.
Angel Beats in the chat. Oh man, that was the old name. Have you guys watched Angel Beats?
Yes.
Not that.
I think Angel
Dude,
Beats might
that was-
have been the first anime I ever watched.
Yeah, I must have watched that about 10 years ago. Barely remember what happens, but yeah. Would you call Angel Beats an isekai? Is that what you call it?
Oh, was Angel Beats the first isekai?
Right.
No way.
No
That shit's
way.
ages ago.
Wait.
Well, what is Angel Beats about? All I know is that
Um,
apparently it's pretty sad.
So he
and like
dies and goes to another world with,
it's
with
not
other
like,
dead people.
It's a purgatory, right? For people who have unresolved issues before they died.
Yep.
So they can't move on unless they solve their regrets in life. And yeah, so he meets all these people. The protagonist who died meets all these people who, share their regrets, share their stories about their life. Yeah, and it's Yeah, it's just a really emotional show. I can barely remember what happens. I just remember the ending where I won't spoil what happens in the ending, but it's pretty sad.
It's a Bible
It's
Thump
probably one
moment.
of the first anime where I actually cried at, I think.
Bible Thump's in the chat.
Sarayne crying?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You would not believe your
I
eyes.
cry when watching
10
anime sometimes,
million
but
fireflies.
This
that was
is
way long time ago.
not a Craigasm moment, guys.
Oops, wrong emoji. Oops.
Bible Thump's in the chat.
But the whole kind of redeeming souls kind of reminds me of a few things, right? It reminds me of Bleach. It reminds me of The Grey Man. It reminds me of The World Only God Knows. God Only Knows. Among some others, I think Defense Devil is one of the more low-key ones, where essentially the dude's like a lawyer for dead people, and he needs to find evidence and kind of go back in time to look for clues that will help kind of resolve someone's issues.
That sounds interesting, actually. So what happens?
Which show is this? What is this?
Defense Devil.
Defense Devil.
Not sure if it's actually an anime. It might have been.
I think you might have recommended that to me at one point.
Probably not.
No?
Nah, I don't reckon.
Alright. Sounds like something.
One manga that Phipps recommended ages ago that I just read today
Let's hear it.
was Spy X Family.
So good.
Dude, it is so good.
So
It's
good.
So good.
It just hits
like
right.
wholesome. Yeah, it's like wholesome, but like a little edgy as well. And everything about it just like, it's quirky. I love it.
I would say Spy X Family is close to the perfect slice of life. I'd say it's at the absolute like epitome of like anything lighthearted. I reckon you have to read Spy X Family.
Yeah, it's very episodic as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think on a similar tone, you know what I realized got included into Netflix anime? The Way of the Househusband.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
I
one.
think they're quite similar in a sense that they're just so good in the way that they're written.
The manga, I haven't seen the anime yet, but the manga I definitely highly recommend.
We'll definitely be watching that one soon.
I think what they do different is that they focus on more like adult and real relationships as opposed to like a high school rom-com or like a high school cute girls doing cute things kind of slice of life. Because in both of those manga, you're looking at like real people with real issues. And I guess Spy X Family is more like spying and like secret agent sort of stuff. Whereas Househusband is like, I'm going shopping, but everyone knows I'm Yakuza. They're both pretty good.
No, but he's retired Yakuza, or his ex-Yakuza.
Ex-Yakuza.
Very funny.
But it's still a badass.
Yeah. So they're not like things you'll experience personally in real life, but things you can imagine experiencing in real life.
Yeah, definitely.
Agree.
Whereas like, I'll never be a cute girl doing cute things, Sad.
Like, I don't know, like the premise just like, and the way the characters react, it's good.
It's real. My last manga recommendation for today would be Sousou no Frieren. But that one is good. The elf girl the elf girl and her party members are like not elves, so they die. That's chapter 1, so it's not a spoiler. And she lives on basically, and it's like post fantasy. It's different, bro. It hits different.
Post? What does that even mean? What is post?
Because you have like fantasy, right? But this is like after the fantasy part. After they slay the demon lord, after all that. And like usually with stories, that's where it ends, right? But this manga starts at the end and then like explores what happens after. It's a nice niche.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely quite a few of those with titles like I Slayed the Demon King, but now what kind of thing.
I'll check this out.
Like those ones are all there. Yeah.
It's a new market because Isekai got popular and then died. So now we gotta go like after the Isekai.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh wait, is there an anime about a guy who's completed the Isekai world and is back to his normal world or some shit like that?
Yes.
Is there actually?
Oh, yeah, people who have come from isekais going back to live. Like it's been like 300 years since I've come back to life, or like normal.
Oh, like reverse isekais almost.
Yeah, can't
Reverse
name
isekai.
like some of those that I can remember are like especially like the Chinese manhwa that aren't written too well, but I think if you read the original Chinese light novels, it's essentially like I've spent 500 years becoming the absolute sovereign of my craft in another world. Now I'm back.
Nice. All right, we'll
Sucks to
probably
be
save
back.
those discussions.
Uh,
We'll save in-depth analysis of those for another day.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Good
Just
discussion.
before we go, do you guys want to pick an anime this season that we'll watch together every week? We'll just watch the episode by ourselves and have a talk about it. When
I
we
think
meet up.
that's a great idea. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the seasonal anime, and there's one that's really interesting. So,
Killing
think-
slimes.
Fumetsu no
Oh,
Ana.
that's exactly what page I'm on right now. Fumetsu no
Right?
Anime.
All right.
Dude, it's got an 8.7.
Oh, to you, the
Yeah.
immortal.
8.76 rating, man. What's the deal here?
8.7.
I've recommended this one to you guys before. To
Yeah,
your
yep,
Have you read it already?
It's I've read the manga. It's really deep.
Yep.
It's not that lighthearted at all. It's quite serious.
All right, good.
So yeah, if we want like a deeper one, we can watch that.
Mhm.
Or if you want a light-hearted one, we can watch Shaman King. I think those two are pretty reasonable.
Maybe we'll watch one where we all haven't watched before. Maybe anime original, Vivi.
Which one?
Vivi Fluorite Eyes Song. It's an anime original this season. It's also rated pretty highly.
Oh, with Studio.
Ooh.
I'm a fan of that.
I'm a fan.
What's it about? Neuroland, an AI complex theme park where dreams, hopes, and science intermingle. Created as the first ever autonomous humanoid AI, Vivi acts as an AI cast for the establishment to fulfill her mission to make everyone happy through songs. She continues to take the stage and perform with all her heart. However, the theme park was still lacking in popularity. One day, an AI named Matsumoto appeared before Vivi and explains that he has traveled from 100 years into the future with the mission to correct history with Vivi and prevent the war between AI and humanity that is set to take place 100 years later. What sort of future will encounter of two AI with different missions redraw? This is the story of AI destroying AI. AI Diva Vivi 100-year journey begins. Right.
Alright.
It's like time travel.
This.
Sounds good to me. Vivi,
Yeah.
VIVY.
So
Oh.
made by Wit Studios, which is the same studios that made the first few seasons of Attack on Titan.
Oh, I do see
Yep.
that. Interesting.
They also
Yeah.
made
Some
Wit
good shows,
Studios
huh?
made a few anime originals, I think. But yeah, it's just like these anime originals that really get ignored every season or underrated, I think.
Because there's so much hype
made
around the
Demon Slayer.
adaptations.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
anime.
Like the other one that Wit Studio made, I think the original was Kotetsu, what's it called? Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh, that one, dude, that one was really good, but the ending kind of sucked.
Have you watched the movie of that?
I haven't watched the movie. The animation.
Yeah, the movie kind of wraps it up a little bit more, but not really.
Okay.
Like, they made a
Oh.
big deal about like the girl's name, and then just went back to fucking calling her a fucking movie.
They did release a original not long ago, like mid end of last year, called The Great Pretender. You guys heard of that
really?
one? That one's like about a con artist, I think. Actually, I'm not too sure. Something like that. But that was also their original. So they have like quite a few originals that are like really high quality. So
Mm.
definitely interested to
And this
see
one
how
on
that
Netflix.
goes.
Yeah, so we've been talking for a while now. Got anything else to say, guys?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So, so just to summarize what we talked about, went through like a lot of anime. We start off pretty awkwardly because forced to introduce people that I already know. How do I do that?
So who are you again?
Yeah, but I think the discussion on anime was pretty insightful, especially like on the isekai stuff. I think we like mentioned quite a lot of like popular isekai. I guess like popular isekai. What's the word I'm looking for?
Manga.
Anime, I guess? Yeah, sure.
Shows.
That was pretty insightful. I think pretty interesting to see you guys' opinions on that stuff as well. And next week, I guess we'll check out Vivi and see what that's all about. Seems fun. Looking forward to that.
Sounds good. All right, so if you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop us a follow. We'll be streaming every week. This time, Wednesday, same time. We'll start at 10 p.m. Australian time. So figure that out with your time zones. I'll probably chuck something down there.
I reckon we'll try and upload these podcasts as well.
We'll check them on YouTube, which will get set up. And yeah, if you're new to us, make sure to check out our website, our Discord. They're all down there.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. We'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for coming.